Right now, in 2026, you and I are shelling out more cash than ever before and somehow getting a worse deal in return. That is the reality. No sugarcoating, no spin. The biggest chains in this country are crumbling, and what is wild is that most of them still have plenty of foot traffic. People are still walking through those doors. But here is the thing that should terrify every executive sitting in a corporate boardroom somewhere. The customers showing up today are already mentally checking out. They are losing trust. Think about it for a second. When was the last time you grabbed a meal, picked up a coffee, or walked into a store and genuinely felt like you got your money's worth? If you have to think about it, that tells you everything. Across every corner of this country, from fast food joints, to pharmacies, to discount shops, regular people are waking up to something that has been building for years. The food is shrinking, the prices are climbing, the service is getting worse, and the places that were supposed to be affordable do not feel affordable anymore. And the craziest part? It is not one industry. It is not one category. It is happening everywhere, all at once. Fast food, coffee, pharmacies, discount stores, electronics, casual dining, the brands your parents grew up with, the brands you grew up with, the ones that felt like permanent fixtures of everyday life, they are all wobbling. So today we are running through the chains that are in the most trouble, heading into the rest of 2026 and beyond. I have added a few names to this list that you might not expect, and I rank them based on how deep the damage really goes. Some of these will shock you. Let us get into it. Number 15, Red Lobster. Let us start with one that a lot of people saw coming, but still hurts to watch. Red Lobster used to be the place families went for a special night out. Not fancy, not pretentious, just solid seafood, those addictive cheddar biscuits, and a vibe that felt like a small celebration even on a random Tuesday. But here is what went sideways. The chain got caught between trying to be a casual dining spot and trying to compete with fast casual prices, and it ended up doing neither well. Operational costs ballooned, lease agreements crushed margins, and then the menu started feeling stale. The portions got noticeably smaller, while the bill got noticeably larger. When families are already stretched thin and they see a dinner tab of $60, $70, $80 for a table of 4 at a place with sticky menus and a 20-minute wait, they start doing math. And that math does not work out in Red Lobster's favor. The closures have been brutal. Dozens of locations shuttered in a short window. The brand that once dominated the casual seafood space is now fighting to prove it even belongs in the conversation. People did not stop wanting seafood. They stopped wanting to overpay for a mediocre version of it. That is a critical difference. And what makes it worse is that Red Lobster's core audience, working families who saved up for a nice dinner out, is the exact group feeling the most financial pressure right now. The brand is losing the customers it cannot afford to lose, at a pace it cannot afford to sustain. The cheddar biscuits are still good, but good biscuits do not save a sinking ship. Number 14, TGI Fridays. Here is a name that probably triggers a specific memory for a lot of you. Friday nights. Big groups. Loaded potato skins. That whole vibe of American casual dining cranked up to 10. But TGI Fridays has been bleeding out slowly for years. The restaurant count has collapsed compared to its peak, and the ones that remain feel like relics of a different era. The menus are bloated, the food is inconsistent, and the atmosphere that once felt fun and energetic now feels tired and outdated. The real issue is identity. TGI Fridays does not know what it is anymore. Is it a bar? A family restaurant? A place for date night? When you try to be everything to everyone, you end up meaning nothing to anyone. Younger customers have zero loyalty to the brand. Older customers who grew up going there have moved on, and the prices do not justify the experience. Casual dining as a whole is under pressure, no question. But TGI Fridays is a textbook case of a brand that rode nostalgia as long as it could and never bothered to evolve. Now the clock has run out. The locations that remain often feel understaffed, the wait times are long, and the food coming out of the kitchen does not match the prices on the menu. When your best selling point is that people have fond memories of eating there in 2004, you do not have a business strategy. You have a eulogy waiting to be written. Number 13, Applebee's. Same neighborhood as Fridays, different shade of the same problem. Applebee's positioned itself as the neighborhood grill, the everyday spot, the place right down the street where you could grab a decent meal without making a big deal out of it. But that pitch only works when the meal actually feels decent and the price actually feels reasonable. In 2026, neither of those things is consistently true. A burger and a couple of drinks at Applebee's can run you north of $30 per person at plenty of locations. At that point, customers start wondering why they are not just going somewhere better. The foot traffic has dropped, locations have been closing, and the core demographic that kept the lights on, middle-income families looking for a convenient dinner out, is exactly the group getting squeezed hardest by inflation. When your customer base has less disposable income and your product is not improving, the outcome is predictable. Applebee's is not dead, but it is on life support in a lot of markets. And here is the kicker. The people who still go tend to go out of habit, not excitement. Nobody is texting their friend group saying, "Hey, let us hit up Applebee's tonight." It is a default choice when nothing better comes to mind. And default choices are the first thing people cut when money gets tight. The neighborhood grill is slowly becoming the neighborhood ghost. If you are finding value in this breakdown, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment with which brand surprised you the most so far, and if you are not subscribed yet, now is the time. Let us keep going. Number 12. McDonald's. Here is one that hits different because of what it represents. When a meal at McDonald's costs nearly as much as sitting down at an actual restaurant, something has gone fundamentally wrong, and that is not an exaggeration. A Big Mac combo in a lot of cities will run you $12, $13, $14 for fast food from a drive-through window. The conversations around McDonald's in 2026 have almost nothing to do with the food itself. Nobody is debating whether the fries are good. The entire discussion has shifted to one word: value. Customers are noticing that the burgers look thinner, the portions feel lighter, the boxes feel emptier. Meanwhile, the number on the screen keeps going up. That is shrinkflation playing out in real time, right in front of people's faces. And once customers start paying attention to it, they cannot unsee it. McDonald's was built on a dead simple contract with the public: quick food, low prices, reliable experience. 2 out of 3 of those pillars are wobbling right now. The kiosks are replacing human interaction, the dining rooms feel more transactional than ever, and the value proposition that made the Golden Arches iconic is under more pressure than it has been in decades. Nobody thinks McDonald's is going to vanish overnight. But here is the thing people miss. A brand does not have to disappear to be in serious trouble. It just has to make customers start hesitating before they pull into the parking lot. That hesitation is already happening, millions of times a day. And do not underestimate how fast sentiment shifts. McDonald's spent decades building a reputation as the most reliable value in fast food. That reputation took one generation to build, and it is taking a few years of price hikes to demolish. The company keeps rolling out limited-time deals and app-only discounts, but that almost makes it worse. When you need a coupon to make fast food feel affordable, the whole promise of the brand is already broken. People notice, and people remember. Number 11. Starbucks. I want you to picture something. A woman walks into a Starbucks. She looks at the menu board. She looks at her phone. She does some quick math in her head. Then she turns around and leaves without buying a single thing. That scene is playing out at Starbucks locations all over the country in 2026, and it tells you everything you need to know about where this brand stands. Starbucks was never really selling coffee. Let us be honest about that. It was selling a habit, a ritual. That comforting 5-minute window in the morning where you grab your drink, take a breath, and ease into the day. For years, the price of that ritual felt negligible, a few bucks, barely worth thinking about. But now a latte with a couple of modifications can easily clear $8 or $9. A cold brew with oat milk and a flavor shot is pushing $7. Do that 5 days a week and you are looking at $150, $200 a month on coffee. People are not stupid. They are doing that math and deciding the kitchen coffee maker is good enough. What makes this so dangerous for Starbucks is that they are not losing customers to a competitor. They are losing customers to a Keurig sitting on a countertop. And once someone breaks that daily Starbucks habit and realizes their mornings are fine without it, getting them back is nearly impossible. The company has thrown everything at this problem. Store redesigns, new leadership strategies, warmer atmospheres. None of it addresses the core issue. You can put the comfiest couch in the world inside a Starbucks, but it will not make a $9 latte feel like a smart purchase. And there is another layer to this that does not get talked about enough. The mobile order system, which was supposed to make things faster and more convenient, has actually made a lot of stores feel chaotic. Walk into a busy Starbucks location, and there is a pile of mobile orders stacked on the counter, baristas shouting names into a crowd, and customers who ordered in the store, waiting longer because the app orders took priority. The warmth and the personal connection that once defined the Starbucks experience have been replaced by assembly line energy. That is the opposite of what a coffee house is supposed to feel like. The habit is cracking, and habits are the entire foundation this company was built on. Number 10. Chipotle. Few things will make a customer angrier than the feeling that they are being shorted on what they paid for. And Chipotle has turned that feeling into a nationwide conversation. Think back to what made Chipotle blow up in the first place. You walked in, watched your burrito get built right in front of you, and it was massive. Generous scoops of everything. Rice spilling over the edges. A foil-wrapped brick of food that felt like a steal. That experience created a cult following. Now fast forward to 2026. Customers are walking up to that same counter and watching employees carefully portion out one measured scoop of chicken, a conservative spoonful of rice, a thin spread of sour cream, and the bill at the end is $13, $14, $15 before you even think about guacamole or a drink. Social media has turned this into a spectacle. People literally film their bowls being made. Some visits produce a packed, overflowing bowl. Others produce something that looks half-finished. It is a total coin flip, and that inconsistency is poison for a brand that charges premium prices. Here is the brutal truth. Chipotle still has lines out the door during peak hours. But the customer showing up 3 times a week last year is now showing up once, maybe twice. Because when you feel like every serving is being rationed, your loyalty starts getting rationed right along with it. That is not a pricing problem. That is a trust problem. And trust problems do not get fixed with a coupon. Quick reminder, if this content is resonating with you, smash that like button, leave a comment telling me which chain you think is in the deepest trouble, and subscribe so you do not miss what is coming next. Back to the list. Number 9. Subway. $5. That is all it used to cost for a footlong at Subway. No gimmicks. No app-exclusive deals. No 16-digit promo codes. You just walked in, pointed at what you wanted, and walked out with a full sandwich for the price of a fancy coffee. That $5 footlong was not just a promotion. It was the entire identity of the brand. It made Subway the biggest sandwich chain on the planet. And now it is gone. A regular footlong at most locations in 2026 runs somewhere between $12 and $15. Pick one of the fancier options, add a drink, and you are staring at close to $20 for a fast food sandwich. At that price point, customers start looking around and realizing they have options. Lots of them. Better ones. The bread does not taste the way it used to. The ingredients feel less fresh. The stores feel more run down. And the value that once made Subway a no-brainer lunch stop has evaporated. Franchise owners are getting squeezed by rising costs and shrinking margins. Hundreds of locations have shut down. The map of Subway restaurants is shrinking in real time. People still eat sandwiches. That demand has not gone anywhere. But the willingness to eat those sandwiches specifically at Subway is drying up fast. When the one thing that made you special disappears, customers have no reason to stick around. And most of them are not sticking around. What is even more painful is that the competition has only gotten better. Local sandwich shops, fast casual chains, even grocery store delis are offering comparable or better food at similar prices. Subway used to win because it was cheaper than everyone else. Now that it costs the same as everyone else, it has to compete on quality and experience, and that is a fight it is not equipped to win. The stores look dated, the menu innovations have been underwhelming, and the brand carries baggage from years of negative headlines that it has never fully shaken. Subway is not just losing a price advantage, it is losing relevance. Number 8. Dollar General. You do not need a spreadsheet to see the problems at Dollar General. Just walk inside one of their stores. Seriously, do it. Boxes stacked in the aisles. Carts full of merchandise that never made it to the shelves. Products shoved into the wrong spots. Empty hooks where items should have been restocked days ago. It looks less like a retail store and more like a back room that someone accidentally opened to the public. Dollar General expanded at a furious pace for years. New locations popping up everywhere, especially in rural areas and small towns. But they scaled the store count without scaling the workforce to match. At a huge number of locations, you have got 1 or 2 employees trying to do absolutely everything. Run the register, unload the truck, stock the shelves, help customers, clean the store. It is physically impossible. Something has to give. And what gives is the customer experience. The company has been hit with millions in fines over safety violations, blocked fire exits, cluttered walkways, hazardous conditions. But here is what matters more than the fines. The people shopping at Dollar General are not demanding some premium retail experience. They just want the store to be clean, organized, and functional. Those are rock-bottom expectations, and Dollar General is failing to meet even those. When a discount store cannot deliver basic dignity to its shopping experience, customers will find somewhere else to go. even if it means driving a little farther. And here is the part that really stings. Dollar General's core customer is someone who often does not have a ton of other options nearby. These stores were planted in food deserts and underserved communities specifically because there was no competition. But even captive customers have a breaking point. When the store feels neglected, when the shelves are chaos, when the checkout line wraps around the building because there is only one register open, people would rather make the longer drive to a Walmart than deal with it. Dollar General took its customer base for granted, and now it is learning the hard way that even the most loyal shoppers have limits. Number 7. Big Lots. Big Lots was always a weird, wonderful place. You never went in with a plan. You went in to wander and see what you could find. Maybe a weirdly good deal on a name-brand blender. Maybe a set of patio cushions at 70% off. Maybe something you did not know you needed until you spotted it on an end cap. That treasure hunt energy was the whole point. That was the brand. Not fancy stores, not slick marketing. Just the thrill of stumbling into a deal that felt almost too good to be real. But somewhere along the way, Big Lots decided it wanted to be a furniture store. Walk into most locations now, and half the floor space is taken up by couches, dining tables, mattresses, and bedroom sets. Stuff that cost $800, $1,200, $2,000. In an economy where people are pinching every penny, that is a catastrophically bad bet. The loyal Big Lots customer came in to spend 20 or 30 bucks and leave feeling like a genius. Instead, they are being greeted by a furniture showroom they never asked for. The thrill of discovery is dead, the bargain bins are gone, and the customers followed. Bankruptcy, mass closures, liquidation signs plastered across hundreds of storefronts. Big Lots forgot the one thing that made people love it, and by the time it figured that out, it was too late. Customers will tolerate a lot from a brand. Ugly stores, thin selection, inconvenient locations, but they will not tolerate a brand that forgets why they showed up in the first place. Number 6. CVS. Imagine walking into a store to buy toothpaste and having to press a button and wait 5 minutes for someone to come unlock a glass case so you can grab a $4 tube of Colgate. That is CVS in 2026. Lock after lock after lock. Deodorant? Locked. Shampoo? Locked. Vitamins? Locked. Basic household items that used to be a quick grab-and-go purchase now require you to stand around like you are waiting at the DMV. And half the time, there is nobody on the floor to come help you. CVS was built on one thing: convenience. You are on your way home, you need a couple of things, you duck in for 2 minutes and you are done. That is the entire business model, and they are systematically destroying it. The self-checkout machines jam up, the pharmacy lines are long, the shelves are disorganized, and the overall feeling of walking into a CVS in 2026 is that the store does not really want you there. More than 900 locations are slated for closure, but that number does not capture the real damage. The real damage is happening silently, one customer at a time, as people just quietly stop going. They order online. They grab stuff at the grocery store instead. They find a different pharmacy. No dramatic exits, no angry rants. Just a slow, steady leak of customers who got tired of waiting around for someone to unlock a cabinet. If this breakdown is opening your eyes to what is really happening out there, take 1 second to like this, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe. We are getting into the top 5 now. Number 5. Amazon Fresh. Amazon came into the grocery business swinging. The pitch was incredible. Walk into a store, grab your items, and walk right back out. No checkout lines, no scanning, no waiting. Cameras and sensors would track everything and charge your account automatically. The future of grocery shopping, delivered today. Except it did not quite work out like that. It came out that the supposedly automated system had over 1,000 people working behind the scenes to review footage and make sure transactions were accurate. The magic trick had 1,000 stagehands behind the curtain. But even setting the technology aside, the stores themselves are the bigger issue. Walk into an Amazon Fresh and tell me what makes it special beyond the tech gimmick. The prices are not the lowest. The produce is not the freshest. The selection is not the deepest. The staff is not the most helpful. It is a perfectly average grocery store wearing a very expensive technology costume. Amazon poured billions into physical retail and opened more than 60 Amazon Fresh locations during its big push. But regular people do not choose a grocery store because it has cool sensors on the ceiling. They choose it because the avocados are ripe, the chicken is priced right, and they can get in and out without hassle. Amazon Fresh does not win on any of those things. Technology can grab headlines. It can impress investors. It can generate buzz. but it does not keep a family coming back every week for their groceries. Fundamentals do that, and Amazon Fresh has never nailed the fundamentals. Number 4. Best Buy. Here is the most painful irony in all of retail. Best Buy stores are basically free showrooms for Amazon, Walmart, and every other online retailer. A customer walks into Best Buy. They spend 20 minutes looking at a TV. They compare models. They ask an employee detailed questions about picture quality and refresh rates and sound systems. They get all the information they need. Then they pull out their phone, find the same TV for $40 less online, and order it right there in the aisle. Best Buy paid for the real estate, paid for the employee, paid for the lighting and the displays and the electricity, and got absolutely nothing in return. That is showrooming, and it is eating Best Buy alive. The thing is, people still want to see electronics in person before they buy. They want to touch the laptop. They want to see how big the TV actually looks. They want to test the headphones. That desire has not gone away. But the willingness to pay Best Buy's prices when a cheaper option is one search away, that is gone. Best Buy cannot compete on price against companies that do not carry the overhead of physical stores, and it cannot stop people from using their phones. So it is stuck in this brutal middle ground where it provides an expensive service that directly benefits its competitors. That is an almost impossible business problem to solve. The company has tried pivoting towards services, memberships, and in-home installation packages. And to be fair, some of that has worked on the margins. But the core retail business is bleeding. Foot traffic is declining. Average transaction sizes are under pressure. And every time a customer uses Best Buy as a research tool and then buys online, the company loses money it spent trying to earn that sale. Electronics retail is not dying. People are buying more gadgets and devices than ever. They are just not buying them at Best Buy. And that gap between customer interest and actual revenue is the thing that keeps Best Buy executives up at night. Number 3. Walgreens. The scariest thing that can happen to a brand is not customers hating it. It is customers forgetting it exists. And that is where Walgreens is right now. For decades, Walgreens was everywhere. A store on every other corner. Open late. Stocked with everything you might need in a pinch. Prescriptions, snacks, toiletries, greeting cards, whatever. The whole value proposition was proximity and availability. You did not go to Walgreens because it was the best. You went because it was right there. But that advantage has been neutralized by a phone screen. Prescriptions get mailed to your door. Amazon delivers toiletries in a day. Grocery stores carry everything Walgreens carries and more. The physical convenience that justified Walgreens' existence is being outmatched by digital convenience that does not require you to put on pants. On top of that, the in-store experience at many Walgreens locations has deteriorated badly. Same locked cabinets as CVS. Same understaffing. Same frustration. Hundreds of stores are closing. Street corners that had a glowing Walgreens sign for decades are going dark. People did not leave Walgreens in a dramatic breakup. They just gradually stopped thinking about it. And once a brand falls out of someone's mental rotation, pulling it back in is one of the hardest things in business. Number 2. Kohl's. Ask 10 people what makes Kohl's different from any other mid-range department store and watch them struggle to come up with an answer. That silence tells you everything about why this brand is in serious danger. Kohl's has been sitting in the mushy middle of retail for years. Not cheap enough to compete with Walmart or Target on price. Not premium enough to compete with Nordstrom or specialty brands on quality and experience. Not trendy enough to attract younger shoppers. Not convenient enough to beat online shopping. It is just kind of there, existing without a compelling reason for anyone to specifically choose it. That middle ground used to be a viable place to operate. Families who wanted something slightly nicer than a discount store but did not want to spend department store money would land at Kohl's. But in 2026, that customer is either trading down to save money or trading up for a better experience. The middle is emptying out, and Kohl's is standing in the middle of an empty room. Stores are closing, foot traffic is declining, and the most damning indicator of all is that people are walking through Kohl's, browsing racks for 10 or 15 minutes, and walking out empty-handed. Not because the prices are outrageous, not because the selection is terrible, but because nothing they see gives them a strong enough reason to actually pull out their wallet. When a store cannot give people a reason to buy, the store does not have a future. Kohl's tried partnering with Amazon for returns, hoping that foot traffic from return drop-offs would translate into impulse purchases. It tried bringing in Sephora shop-in-shops to attract younger female customers. It tried discount events and loyalty programs and email campaigns. None of it has moved the needle enough, because all of those tactics are band-aids on an identity crisis. Until Kohl's can answer the question of why someone should specifically choose to shop there instead of anywhere else, every other strategy is just rearranging deck chairs. And right now, Kohl's does not have a good answer to that question. That silence is deafening. Number 1. Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. When discount retailers that exist specifically to serve people on the tightest budgets start closing thousands of stores, the conversation stops being about business strategy. It becomes about something much deeper. Dollar Tree and Family Dollar are not luxury brands. They do not cater to affluent shoppers. Their entire reason for existing is to provide affordable basics to families that cannot afford to shop anywhere else. Dish soap, paper towels, cleaning supplies, snacks for the kids, the essentials that end up in the carts of millions of households every single week. And those stores are disappearing at a staggering rate. Thousands of planned closures. Thousands. In communities where these stores were often one of the only affordable options within miles. Here is what makes this different from every other entry on this list. In a normal, tough economy, discount retailers usually benefit. People cut back on the expensive stuff and shift their spending to cheaper alternatives. That is how it has always worked. But 2026 is not following that playbook. Families are not trading down anymore. They are just buying less. Period. Fewer items per trip. Fewer trips per month. Fewer purchases that are not absolutely essential. The customer base that these stores depend on is not switching to a competitor. They are pulling back on spending entirely because there is simply nothing left to stretch. That is not a business problem. That is an economic reality that no amount of store redesigns or marketing campaigns can fix. When the people who rely on dollar stores cannot afford to shop at dollar stores, something much bigger than retail is broken. And let us talk about what those closures actually mean on the ground. In a lot of communities, especially rural ones and lower-income urban neighborhoods, Dollar Tree or Family Dollar was the closest thing to a general store. It was where people grabbed cleaning supplies, school supplies, birthday party decorations, basic groceries. When that store disappears, there is often nothing to replace it. The impact is not just financial, it is structural. These closures leave gaps in communities that were already underserved. The families affected do not have the luxury of just ordering from Amazon or driving 20 minutes to the next town. This is where the retail collapse stops being an abstract business story and becomes a very real human one. The bottom line. Look at this list one more time. Fast food, coffee, casual dining, pharmacies, discount stores, electronics, grocery, department stores. These are not fringe businesses. These are the backbone of American consumer life. And every single one of them is dealing with the same underlying fracture. People have not stopped needing things. They have not stopped wanting things. But they have absolutely stopped tolerating paying more for less. Prices went up. Quality went down. Service got worse. Convenience disappeared. And the trust that held the whole thing together cracked wide open. You can redesign a store. You can update a logo. You can launch a new ad campaign. You can roll out a fancy app. None of that fixes the fundamental problem. When a customer feels ripped off, disrespected, or taken for granted, they leave, and they almost never come back. That is what 2026 is really about. Not store closures. Not quarterly earnings. Not executive shakeups. It is about millions of regular people quietly, calmly, decisively changing where and how they spend their money. And once those habits shift, no brand on earth has a guaranteed way to shift them back. What makes this moment different from past downturns is the awareness. Customers in 2026 are more informed, more connected, and more vocal than they have ever been. They share photos of shrinking portions. They post videos comparing prices. They review stores in real time. They talk to each other constantly about where the value is and where it is not. That level of transparency means brands can no longer hide behind marketing. The gap between what a company promises and what it actually delivers is visible to everyone, instantly. The brands that survive this era will not be the ones with the biggest advertising budgets or the flashiest store redesigns. They will be the ones that do the simplest thing right, give people a fair deal, treat them with respect, and deliver on the promise. That is all anyone has ever really wanted. And right now, far too many of the biggest names in the business are failing at exactly that. I want to hear from you. Which name on this list caught you off guard? Which company do you think has the best shot at turning things around? And which one is completely done? Drop it all in the comments below. Smash that like button if this gave you something to think about. And make sure you are subscribed so you catch the next one. I will see you